Hey everyone, welcome to the Kosher Intuitive. Today is the day that we get in to the shit show. That is the love affair. It's the love story of a Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell, rotten hell, and Jeffrey Epstein. May your soul be stomped into nothing. We are going to talk about their love story. But first, before we talk about their love story, I'd like to introduce you to the only criminals we support here at the Kosher Intuitive and the Jewish Illuminati. So this is Walter. He is called Walter Petunias McPherson McDowell, otherwise known as Walter Yerachmiel Yehuda. Okay, Meisels. Oh, it's my baby. So listen, if you don't look like this, okay, so these types of criminals, because anybody who knows Walter gets arrested at least twice a week. Okay, Walter has been to the psychiatric unit at the vet because he gets mad and pees and clean laundry, and then we panic and not know why he's peeing. And basically $1,300 in a year and a half later, we find out that Walter is just angry about his life. Anyway, so we just wanted you to know here at the Kosher Intuitive and the Jewish Illuminati that the only criminals we support look like this. And isn't he the cutest criminal? Yes, he is. Oh, goodness. Okay, so I'm going to put him down before he busts out his flamethrower. And probably should have taken that opportunity to brush him. He loves his brushing. He sheds. We brush Walter like... Walter gets a brushing because Walter likes the brushing. So believe me, Walter... I don't, it's like, how does he not run out of cat hair? Thank God. I mean, I'm glad he doesn't. Anyway, getting to the topic at hand today, and it is your hostess, comedian, hopefully your favorite comedian, clairvoyant, probably the only one you know, intuitive, energy, healer, essentially a faith healer, and life coach. And the best real estate agent that walks the planet, 'tis me, Yael Meisels. How in the hell are you today? So today we are talking about the love story between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. And listen, my only hope, okay, my first of all, I'd like to say, going into this topic, whether any of the victims, ever see this topic or not, please, from me, I'm saying, please know you ladies are in our thoughts. You're in our prayers. We are a group of people that believe the types of crimes that happen to people like you should be punishable in any country, in any land, in any nation, should be punishable by death. That is what I think. And that is what I'm hoping the people in my life think. I just cannot even fathom a more appropriate punishment for said behaviors of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. So, Ghislaine Maxwell, let me tell you, if I get my wish and become the ruler of the world, you gon' die. You won't be in a minimum security prison where you can have coffee, go to the spa and the library. You would be going to the electric chair where we would electrocute you on Facebook for the world to see, while I would light my cigarette and roast marshmallows on your frying carcass. That's how I feel about you, Ghislaine Maxwell. All right, so we're going to talk about their love story and how Jeffrey has the biggest she's never seen. So let's get in to who Ghislaine Maxwell probably really was. Now, she's the daughter of some elite Jewish activist. I think his name was Yehuda at some point, and then he changed it to whatever the hell he changed it to. Married a non-Jew, someone who was so into Judaism. Certainly didn't see a reason to make sure his kids were Yidden, but that's neither here nor there. I guess when you're a Satanist, you have different priorities. He was a public Israeli activist, and until we knew what a pig, Ghislaine was, this hoe was all trying to like clean the ocean. Yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell, when she wasn't funneling women to pedophiles, was trying to clean the oceans. No thank you. I'd rather the oceans be dirty and you dead. Yeah. Can we not put Ghislaine into the ocean that she was so concerned about? She was concerned about the animals in the ocean. I know that sharks eat people, so I would like to see Ghislaine's body eaten by sharks so she could give back to the aquatic community and in their habitat as food. Anyways, so yeah, Ghislaine Maxwell, pick your poison, right? Yeah, she was a big fan of the oceans. Jeffrey Epstein, I don't really know about his charity work. I know that he talked ad nauseum about his relationship with Donald Trump. Kind of sounds to me like, if I had to guess, let me just give you my observation. Like, what does the energy say, right? On this entire situation regarding the president and Jeffrey Epstein. I'm going to tell you straight out what I think, okay? Call me a conspiracy theorist. Call me whatever you like. I don't care. You call me Susan. I don't give a shit. Okay, actually, no, don't call me Susan because that's my boyfriend's sister's name. And yeah, Elle, which is so funny. But anyway, hi, Susan, Yell. Anyway, moving on. So Jeffrey Epstein talked ad nauseum about his relationship with Donald Trump. Now, what's interesting is that seems to be very much of a one-sided friendship. Now, how in hell would these two have gotten together? Well, what the parts of the story that you people are simply not being told, because you're probably not going to be told it until all the truth comes out. But the reality is like this. These people are Satanists. If you want to get into Ghislaine Maxwell for a second, I believe that she was what is called, for those of you who study Satanism and satanic ritualistic abuse, the children who are often abused have what is called a handler. It is different. I hate to say it, but it's really no different than a pimp. The difference between a pimp and a handler, other than one is a less despicable name that means essentially the same thing. A pimp is pimping people out to strangers, and a handler is basically volunteering individuals for ritualistic sexual violence, and feeding the perverted appetites of the elite. So that is the difference between a handler and a pimp. Unfortunately, they are called handlers in the satanic Baal, Malik, Al-Amakshamo worship for that population. Now, what's interesting is, as you can imagine, is the story is with a lot of nerdy women like Ghislaine Maxwell. Her family did not like Jeffrey. Now, what's interesting is she identified as his girlfriend, but even Ghislaine Maxwell has said herself that they did not have an overtly sexually intimate relationship. Now, why? I'm just saying, like, is anyone else not even a little bit curious as to why would this, listen, I understand Jeffrey Epstein was wealthy, but he certainly wasn't the wealthiest person alive. And was there no one, Ghislaine, in the group of crazies? No, there was no one who would fuck you. I'm just saying, like, you went for the worst one who wouldn't fuck you. So here's what I think. I think the reason we don't have the client list of Jeffrey Epstein is because Donald Trump's name is on it. And I also think that Donald Trump probably did not want dealings with Jeffrey Epstein. You have to understand something. These people all come from families that are involved in occultism, Satanism. Like, if you take a look at Ghislaine Maxwell again, let's point our eyes over to her for a minute. Did you know her father had a yacht named the Ghislaine? They had a very interesting relationship. Witnesses have said, that her father was a violent, angry person who would scream at his children, mercilessly beat his children. I personally think how Ghislaine Maxwell became a handler for the satanic sexual ritualistic abuse that she participated in. Like, what I think is so sad is these victims of Jeffrey Epstein's, not only are you victims of sex crimes, you are victims of satanic ritualistic abuse, and some of these women don't even know that. They don't even know that. Because it is so clear, and you don't have to be a conspiracy theorist, it is so clear that Ghislaine Maxwell was a handler for the cult. Okay, whether you want to call it the Illuminati, the whatever, the hell, it was the cult, okay? And I am certain that Ghislaine Maxwell probably grew up in an environment where she was raped regularly for satanic ritualistic purposes. You would not believe how much they brutalize children. In fact, there's the comedian, beautiful woman, may God bless her with the highest level of healing and blessing that is allowed in the world and the support that you need. Jeffrey Epstein has a niece who is a somewhat aspiring comedian in New York City, okay? And this poor girl will tell you awful things that went on in her upbringing, and she'll even tell you they were posing as Jews. These are the things that went on behind closed doors. And you guys have to think about something. What does this woman stand to gain? She's not one of the Epstein specifically victims, but I'd say she is an Epstein victim, because she'll tell you that entire family is all Satanists. They're all Satanists. So if her family, come on, let's play connect the dots for a second. Wouldn't it make sense if Jeffrey Epstein's niece is saying that her immediate family was Satanists? She's saying Jeffrey Epstein was a Satanist. Anyone who's studied the occultism and knows their practices and how they live could look at Ghislaine Maxwell and say, these are definitely Jewish Satanists. What you expect me to believe that Jeffrey Epstein's poor niece, God love her, was a victim of satanic ritualistic sex abuse, and Ghislaine and Jeffrey were just over there on the island minding their own business? It's sick. I don't mean to laugh. It's just so sick. They're all Satanists. Like this girl, if you have TikTok, or go on Google and put in Jeffrey Epstein's niece, comedian. I cannot think of her name. I think her first name is Anya. I think it's Anya. It might be Anya Epstein. No, Anya. Oh, what is it? Anya something. You guys, I will, after I do this video, I will post her name in the YouTube so you can look this woman up and just hear her bravery. Her bravery is incredible. And what I think is so just teetering on stupid is, why is it no one other than this victim who's just trying to rebuild her life after hellacious, horrible things have happened, why would they be the Satanists? But Jeffrey Epstein isn't a Satanist? But they were the good Jews? No, they weren't. No, good Jews don't molest children. Good Jews don't molest anybody. Good people don't do that. But it is the Jewish people, like Jeffrey Epstein and his girlfriend, Ghislaine, has the Titus P-U-S-S-Y he's never seen. Sorry, it was horrible. It's Jews like these people that give people like Candace Owen ammunition. Because when Candace Owen says the things that you and I get outraged at hearing, she's actually, again, she's a pig. I'm not saying Candace Owen's not a pig. I hope God sets her on fire. I hope she, her husband, her children just vanish. I wish the aliens would go take the Owens, okay? Whatever the case may be. I certainly don't want them to be kidnapped by people. If anyone is going to be kidnapped, let it be like a phenomena event. Like, and then there was an alien abduction and they came and took Candace Owen and her family. Like that'd be awesome. Or if my ex-husband's rabbi and the Vod of Detroit were abducted by aliens. We don't want them to be abducted by gangsters. That would be illegal. We want them to be abducted by aliens because that would be a scientific miracle. They'd be participating in a miracle. So the only abduction that we support here at the Kosher Intuitive and the Jewish Illuminati is alien abduction. If you are not an extraterrestrial human abducting people, you are breaking the law and we're going to get you. If you are an alien with a spaceship, I don't care. You probably are breaking the law, but I'm certainly not. What am I going to do? I'm coming to get you. Come on, let's just be ridiculous. Let's just not be ridiculous. Okay. So, if the aliens, would like to start taking people, I personally have a list. My neighbors, Beth and Mike, have a list. They're really nice people. Don't take them, but take the people on their list. My friends have lists of people that they would like to see, participating in an alien abduction. So really, the only type of abduction that we support here at the Kosher Intuitive and the Jewish Illuminati is alien abduction. Now, I think the reptilians fly something called starships. Yeah, so they're really bad. And yeah, they can't, we don't want them doing abduct. Well, if it's a good enough show and they're on their way out anyway. Anyway, let's get back to the topic. So there's so much evidence here. Even without Anya's testimony, which I'm telling you as someone who reads people for a living, all right? Her testimony is so powerful, and the things she says are so not only believable, especially if you're someone who has studied this sick topic like I have ad nauseum, unfortunately. Anya's stories are so believable, not only because they're true, but I mean, just the way the energy bounces, in the way the frequency, you have to understand, I read energy and frequency for a living. That is what rare human phenomena is. a person who can do that. No, it is not normal. No, it is not common. No, you've probably met nobody else in life who does it. No, you probably can't do it. And that is not a criticism. There's a reason it's called phenomena. And we can't have people as basic as tap water thinking they have rare phenomena. And I know if you don't have rare phenomena, I'm going to check you every time because you have no idea what these people go through. So as a person who uses rare phenomena in their career to help people, I'm telling you everything this woman is saying about Jeffrey Epstein is true. And I would imagine the reason Ghislaine Maxwell would get involved in a relationship like this is she probably thought, well, if she's going to be a child sex slave handler, Illuminati bitch, that's abused by everybody the rest of her life, why not, hook herself up with the JE? And, at least she's like, she fed him women to satanically abuse. And these women don't understand that they really were victims of satanic ritualistic abuse. It wasn't just regular rape. Anybody who studied anything about Satanism, hear anything that was said at the Diddy trial, all Satanism, all Baal worship, all Satanism. All of it. And what these organizations do, what these people do is they will put you in very, very compromising positions. They'll put them in very, very, very compromising positions where if they came forward, they would be exposed in all sorts of awful things. So they even have people who sexually violate children for power who don't really want to do it. This is even something Anya talks about, is one of her attackers was crying while raping her because he didn't want to do it. But whatever he was going to get out of the rape, he wanted that. These people are nuts. And they're not just doing the things they're doing because it's imaginary. This wouldn't be such a problem if there was no credibility to it. You get what I'm saying? These evil things really, really, really do exist. I hope they, for the miracle that they won't ever, they won't continue to exist, please God. But these things have happened. And to say that they haven't is straight up naivete. And I think one of the most just easiest examples that we have a clue of in terms of, even if you just look at the property of that sick island, may it just be washed away. I don't care what happens to it. Could the aliens come? Really, what is going on with the aliens? I mean, I'm disappointed for the amount of people walking around saying they done seen it with their own two eyes. I want alien action. All right. You bring some sci-fi shit up in here. We need it desperately. Bust out the lasers. Yeah, do it. There's like a satanic circle in like a weird clock situation on the island. There's a dome of sorts leading to tunnels and things. Why? Wouldn't that be dangerous to have tunnels on an island? I'm not trying to be funny. I'm just saying, I don't know, an island that big, I wouldn't want to be underground, would you? So the fact that there's tunnels under there, I don't know, must have been big enough, whatever they're doing, must have been important enough to justify digging some tunnels. Gosh, I understand why Hamas does it. Not that they, may they be eradicated off the face of creation. But at least it makes sense, why those criminals would do it. I guess as a safety concern, I don't do you guys understand? There were people that have tried to swim off that island. So whatever was going on there, was so bad, they were trying to swim off the island. And you guys need to understand, Ghislaine Maxwell was not with Jeffrey Epstein this was a man who didn't want her sexually. You understand? He truly is a pedophile, for real. He really is. He's one of those sick, deranged, demonic, satanic people that can't create an erection having, sexual relations with a woman his own age. That was why Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey had no sexual relationship. She didn't make him hot. So what did she do to stay relevant in his life? She went and got him women that he did want to rape, that he would think were hot. That's what a handler in the satanic cults do. And they specifically go after children for energetic, chemical releases and purposes. And we have too many Jewish people don't know that these things go on. So I can completely appreciate why people are like, oh, no way do I believe that happens. I at one point believed the same way you did. Since October 7th of 2023, when it became hellaciously dangerous to be Jewish again, and we saw in real time just something which was identical to what the Nazis did to us. We just did not see it. There was no difference in those atrocities. One was longer by Germans. And I got to tell you, I think the entity, the evil demon that was Mohammed, Amakshamo, that started the Islam, I truly think, and there is nothing you would say to me to make me change my mind, I think that Mohammed Amakshamo was the reincarnation of Hitler Amakshamo, just because of the closeness between Hitler and the Grand Mufti of Jerusalem. And let's not forget the Bulgarian Islamic army that came to fight with the Germans against the Jews. There's nothing. In fact, I think the whole foundation of Islam as a religion, which is, how dare you call that filth a religion? I don't even think these people believe in our God, because no God ever broke his covenant with Israel. Our God would never condone Mohammed raping a 9-year-old girl. Our God would never condone taking a 6-year-old bride. But that's what Mohammed did. So no, I don't believe the entity that was known as Allah was referring to our God. God forbid. I think it was a demon that Mohammed conjured up, and these people just kept feeding as they were praying on the floor. Let's not even go there as to why in God's name would you think it would be appropriate to pray on the floor? We're not even going to get into it. It's just too disgusting. I can't handle it. And if anyone doesn't like that I said that, I've got news for you. I don't like that my people, the Jewish people, that Black people are out there fighting for their lives against this shit. I don't like what Islam has done to Africa. And the God-blessed Christians, may they see a miracle. I am tired of Islamic crime, just like I am tired of pedophilia, because it's just so related. And I'm telling you right now, the Holocaust had way more to do with sorcery than you've ever considered. You know, I got to tell you something. My son, Asher, said to me the other day when we were in the car, and I've never even engaged him in this conversation. I never would. All right. Apparently, Usher was hearing me speak to a friend of mine who is important at their job. Let's just put it like that. And part of what we are doing here at the Jewish Illuminati is getting to the bottom of why Judaism is in such a shit condition, why religion is in such a shit condition, why Islam has always been in a shit condition. So we've really been, keeping an eye out and trying to get to the bottom of not only what this is, but how did this happen? How did we get here? How do we get out of here? And how do we make sure we never come here again, right? And Usher heard me say to a friend of mine that I believe in any of the Holocaust videos that are from real raw footage, right, that we've ever seen. Now, if you pay attention, doesn't make sense, okay? Now, I understand we're in a different era, but these Jewish people, Ava Shalom, who were killed, they were martyred for our people. I'm serious. When you watch actual footage of these people walking in the street, like when awful things were happening as they were walking to trains and things of that nature, they have a blank look on their face. It's almost like this. Like that. Now, one could argue it's because they're in a somber state of defeat, right? Wrong. That could be part of it. That is not the entirety. These people were under heavy spells of satanic blood magic and sorcery to make them complicit. You want to tell me that we've seen what we've seen in how we have retaliated for October 7th. Now, I understand we have a land now that we're going to fight like hell to keep, that our temple stands on its Temple Mount and gets that shitty mosque out of there. And I unapologetically, by the way, don't like the religion known as Islam. So if any of that offends anybody, I'm so sorry to hear that. I'm very offended by what they've done to my people. I am a Jew first. I am fighting for my people. I have put everything on the line to fight for my people, and that includes fighting against false religion, and I apologize if that's upsetting to hear. I guess we're just going to have to agree to disagree. What can I say? It's just not the right time in the world to be politically correct. Not when we're where we're at. Sorry. And, it's so clear these people were being subjugated to sorcery, because it just doesn't make sense that there would be one uprise. The Warsaw Uprise, the Warsaw Ghetto Uprise. Now, that was the only uprise. We have to start looking deeper at the situation. I was watching a program that's a documentary program on people who, it's on Hulu. I can't think of the journalist's name. She's a blonde woman. I think she's some sort of European. So she went to Ghana, Jamaica, and Israel of all places. Turns out, as far as scams go, Israel's one of the biggest in the world. I guess they come in at reigning champion number 3 for scamming people out of money. You know what all 3 of those criminals said? The criminal in Israel, he was a big criminal. They were on his yacht. The criminals in Ghana and the criminals in Jamaica. Now you have 3 different kind of criminal. 3 different colors, 3 different backgrounds, different parts of the world, right? What did those criminals all have in common other than crime? They all talked about occultism and how they manipulate people with satanic magic before they go to scam them and when they have a fish on the line. They said this. This is how they do it. And there was even a woman who, and it's like, what's the point, right? Like, this woman is a walking petri dish, spiritual petri dish. She's gonna, you don't scam people like that and think that you're gonna go dance around with some sort of hocus pocus blue looking soap in a river, like in Jamaica. Are you fucking for real right now? But anyway, after they're done, scamming people for the day, they like go to the river and try to like sanitize themselves against the demonic energy. I'm just saying, these people have functional businesses. They're terrible businesses. They're criminal businesses. They're businesses that need to be shut all the way down. But the one thing these people had in common was they all talked about ritualistic, demonic, satanic behavior to be more successful at such a horrible job. So, you guys, we have to start thinking a little bit more outside of the box, because we've covered all four corners of the box, and I don't know, things still don't make sense, because the truth probably isn't in the box, and you don't have to go down the rabbit hole. You just have to listen to what people say. You know, you guys have to understand something. Indicative of what mine or your religious beliefs might be, a person who, like Ghislaine Maxwell, who's a religious Satanist and has been practicing Satanism her whole life, these people do this for a reason. They're seeing results. You know, just like when you work out at the gym and you start to lose weight, well, it's like that's a good thing. These people see that their horrible shit works, so they just keep doing it. And it makes them evil and crazy. And we've got people over here saying that don't know anything. That doesn't exist because I wasn't aware of it. Therefore, it couldn't exist. Because if I'm not aware of it, how is it the truth? Because you didn't fucking know. That's why. That's why. Sorry. And I'm tired of watching rabbis and ministers and pastors and priests and imams. I'm tired of watching their shit. I've just had it. I've had it. I've had it. Like I'm not going to say what I was going to say. I haven't discussed it with my partner yet, but I'm saying I've had it. I've had it. Because we look at the Jeffrey Epstein situation. I think Donald Trump, when the truth finally comes out, will have a lot to say. And I'd be willing to bet Donald Trump might be closer in the family of a victim of Jeffrey Epstein rather than an accomplice. And I don't like Donald Trump at all. But I do have concern that this was a social involvement that was unavoidable, considering where these people in life, being in this elite crowd that they were born into, full of occultism, full of stories about this, that, and the other. I just find it very hard to believe. Like I think there was a connection between the two, but that doesn't mean that Trump wanted to be there. We just don't know the details yet. I'm not saying the man is innocent. I'm saying everybody has the right to right. Everybody should take an opportunity to right the wrongs that they've committed in this world by whatever means necessary. And if that is what he is truly trying to do, then let him have that miracle. Because even the worst people deserve to make an effort for salvation. Even the worst people in the world deserve that. We don't necessarily know all the details on the other side of the coin. I know I've seen far too many stories of children that have chopped off healthy breasts and mutilated their genitals because they thought something at a certain age and they changed their mind. Poor Anya, God love her, Jeffrey Epstein's niece, who was raped to pieces her entire life, will tell you that. She's someone who detransitioned, had to have a hysterectomy, God love her, could never have children. because she was so tortured. She thought she was a man. Poor girl. That's what torture will do to you. We got to stop. This isn't about Democrats and Republicans anymore. They're both evil and crazy. What in God's name was Bill Clinton doing in an evening gown and heels? Looking better than Hillary ever could in such an outfit at Jeffrey Epstein's house. Why? Google, ladies and gentlemen, Bill Clinton at Jeffrey Epstein's house in an evening gown in heels. What in God's name was Bill Clinton doing in an evening gown and heels? No, this isn't Photoshop. You can tell. Oh, why were all of these black rappers at Diddy's house walking around in lingerie and shit? Because this is what they do when you're a part of the cult. To keep you in the cult, they take these compromising pictures of you looking absurd. And, and then they have blackmail on you. Come on. It's so funny for my friends who are in comedy that are like, I don't understand why I'm not famous. I'm like, because you're not fucking the right people and you don't want to be a Satanist. That's why you're not famous. That's why these people aren't famous. The ones who are on Netflix and all the shit, they drink the Kool-Aid. The ones who aren't, they don't. You want to be famous, go drink the Satan Kool-Aid. You'll be famous. You know why I am not famous at being a comedian? Because I'd rather be the Tom McDonald. These people are gross. I don't want the Kool-Aid. No, thank you. My old partner and I, Keenan Weaver and I, we were offered the Kool-Aid and we're like, no, that's okay. We're with God. Thank you, though. No, we're good. No Kool-Aid for us. We like coffee. Shit. The things they don't tell you about being famous. Come on, no one else had famous boyfriends. I don't believe it. These people are strange. They are strange. Why is Kanye West running around for the last several years screaming about the Illuminati? Come on. Even Jeffree Star did an interview recently talking about it's not about what not always about what you pay. It's about what you're willing to do. Why would these people say that if there's absolutely, positively no truth to it? Oh, it looks like my eyebrow is not nearly as balanced, or my eyebrow is thicker than it should be when I put it on this morning. Come on, you guys. We have to take the naive glasses off. As fun and comfortable as it is to be dumb sometimes, we have to focus on what it is. I have not fallen for the political agenda from either party because I know the Democrats are a bucket of mutilated piss, and I know the Republicans are just a bucket of piss. You're dealing with two buckets of piss. Just one has floaties and the other one doesn't. I don't want any piss. Okay, no piss for me. Thank you. I'm going to hope and pray until for the rest of my days for the Jewish Messiah. No, I don't think it's Donald Trump. No, just because I think he's trying to have his reckoning doesn't mean he's good. No, I don't have faith in Elon Musk. I don't have faith in any of these people. What is her name? Who's that AOC? Alexandria something Cortez or who? Satan. That woman's crazy. Who in the fuck who'd she sleep with to get power? Can someone else go sleep with someone to get power and put these criminals out? It's like when Joe Biden, we gotta throw some punches at Joe. All right, we gotta. When Joe Biden and the rest of us were watching California burn to the ground. I mean, burn into the ground. So Joe Biden makes a statement. I can't make this up. You guys, you need to look it up on YouTube yourself if you can't take my word for it. So they were like, any comments on what's happening in Joe Biden, what's happening in California? Joe Biden's like, well, it's a shame. I became a great-granddad today. I'm sorry, sir. You were the president of the United States at the time. What? You're talking about becoming a great-granddad? Well, California was ablaze. I mean, it was, why can't California stop being set on fire? Oh, Lord, I can tell you why, because it's full of evil people. Oh, Lord. You guys, mark my word. We are in the prophesized messianic time discussed right here in the book of Ezekiel, or for other people they might know, the book of Yehezkel, right? We're living in this book. We're living in it. Has no one else noticed that? We're living in that book. We're living in it. We are. The Messiah is going to be here any minute, and then y'all bitches are never going to have a politician to argue about again, because you won't be making another political choice again as long as you live. Thank God. Thank God. Thank God. You people can't pick a government. Nope. Terrified of both of your ideas of government. It's like the water is poison. The AI robots are out to get us. The government doesn't want to talk about aliens, but other people in the government does. Oh, Jesus Christ. You expect me to believe the Democrats are going to come fix it? They're like, you're all gay. Chop off your genitals because you're all gay. And then you got the Republicans that are coming. They're like, can't kill babies. We don't want to help you take care of them, but you can't kill them. You guys, no. Both of these parties are awful. Both of these parties are insanity. I am an independent. I believe in the hope and the prayer that one day God will send the Jewish Messiah to save us all. And based on everything I've seen, because I've read the book, it looks like we're here. Thank God. Hallelujah. Yeah. So hopefully none of you will be making a political decision ever again. Just because the Messiah will, and because his ideas are probably better than yours. Because your ideas consisted of George Bush and Kamala Harris and Mitt Romney and oh God, Rashida. Yeah, she needs to be sent back to whatever the hell place she came from. I don't care if it was here. I just want her gone. And if they can't, extradite her, then she can also be on the list of the alien abductions. So if someone go take her. Who is that other sassy one? Oh, Jasmine Crockett. Yeah, she can go. Who's the other one? There are so many Republicans. They've just been quiet. In any event, if the aliens can hear me, please uprise and take all of our political figures, Taylor Swift, so she can't poison us with any more music. If you could bring back Eazy-E, we'd appreciate it, because I too was once a thug from around the way. I am very much, well, I'm not a boy in the hood, but I'm an oi in the hood. Yeah. So if you are a current rabbinical figure or in a political position or in a member of clergy, I am hoping that the aliens come for you. And considering how crazy people have been, you know, and how so many government officials talk about alien invasions and aliens being here, my biggest prayer is if I give these beings enough energy, they will uprise and come get the bad ones. So we about to find out. Part of a social science experiment. Anyway, that is the first, touching on the Satanism and the love story of all the sex they never had between Ghislaine Maxwell and Jeffrey Epstein, a match made in hell, to be continued in the fires of Gehenna. For those of you who would like to book an appointment, you can reach out to me on all the socials. Should you like to donate to this cause? Because while this episode was hopefully funny for people, most of our episodes are not funny, because a lot of what I do here at the Kosher Intuitive is absolutely not funny. And no client has ever been turned away because of their inability to pay for services. Ever. Never have, never will. While the full price is $350 a session, which lasts between 2 and 3 hours. Sliding scale pricing is approved for those who qualify. And you do have to qualify. I appreciate you listening. I think we are growing together. The more we know, the more we can grow. And you guys have to understand, we need to have something to acknowledge the narrative, because the reality here is we are being accused of a lot of terrible things, starving the Palestinian. Oh, I'm so done with the Palestinian bullshit. I'm so done. Yes, someone please free Palestine right the fuck out of Israel. You can be Israeli and behave, or go live in go live somewhere else. I don't care if they send you to Afghanistan's huge. Just saying. The Hamas has similar religious principles to the Taliban. Similar governments. Go there. No. Israel's ours. Enough. Too much has gone on. And the Jewish people are just looking like this. They don't know what they're talking. No, so I hate to say it to you, Jewish people. The people who've studied occultism, like myself, the people who've lived in occultism, they do know what they're talking about. It's those who haven't studied these topics that don't know what they're talking about. And we need to make this common knowledge, because we cannot grow if we are uninformed. And by that, I think I've done 2 episodes today. I think I'm good. I'm going to go see clients. I wish you guys a great, great, wonderful day. And as always, we are on the hunt for bad clergy. You got them, bring them over. Have a wonderful day, ladies and gentlemen.